There is a possibility that someone in your life already knows how to control you, not because they are stronger than you, not because they are more intelligent, but because they have learned your pattern. They know what kind of silence makes you nervous. They know which words provoke you. They know how long to withdraw before you begin chasing. They know which compliment lowers your guard, which accusation forces you to defend yourself, and which expression appears on your face just before you surrender. You may believe your emotions are private. They are not. Every reaction teaches people how to handle you. Every unnecessary explanation reveals what you fear being misunderstood about. Every sudden outburst identifies the wound beneath your confidence. Every attempt to prove yourself shows where your identity is still fragile. And once another person can predict what you will feel, they can begin to predict what you will do. Once they can predict what you will do, they no longer need to command you. They only need to create the right conditions. This is one of the darkest truths of human interaction. Control rarely begins with force. It begins with observation. Most people are constantly studying one another, even when they do not realize it. A manager watches which employee becomes defensive under pressure. A friend notices who cannot tolerate being excluded. A romantic partner learns what kind of distance creates anxiety. A salesperson observes when hesitation becomes desire. A rival remembers what makes you lose composure. Human beings are pattern-seeking creatures. We scan faces, voices, gestures, and pauses for clues. We do this because prediction creates safety. If we can anticipate another person's behavior, they become less dangerous to us. But the same instinct that helps people understand you can also help them use you. The person who knows you hate conflict may pressure you with confrontation. The person who knows you crave approval may reward you only when you obey. The person who knows you cannot tolerate silence may simply stop speaking until you reveal more than you intended. They do not need to know everything about you. They only need to know which emotional button produces which response. That is why emotional predictability is not merely a personality trait. In certain environments, it becomes a vulnerability. Imagine a workplace meeting. A proposal is being discussed. You have concerns, but before you speak, a colleague makes a dismissive remark about your previous idea. Your posture changes. Your voice tightens. You immediately begin defending your competence rather than questioning the proposal. The conversation has been redirected. Your colleague did not defeat your argument. They activated your insecurity. You entered the room intending to discuss strategy. Within seconds, you were forced into discussing yourself. This is how emotional control is often stolen. Not dramatically, but quietly. The focus shifts from the issue to your reaction. Your attention is pulled away from what matters and placed onto the need to restore your image. The more predictable this need becomes, the easier it is to manipulate. A person who must always appear intelligent can be baited with disrespect. A person who must always feel loved can be controlled through affection and withdrawal. A person who must always win can be lured into battles that serve no purpose. A person who must always explain themselves can be exhausted by constant accusation. Your strongest emotional attachment can become another person's easiest point of entry. The question is not whether you have emotions. The question is whether your emotions can be summoned on command. Niccolo Machiavelli lived in a world where emotional exposure could be fatal. Renaissance Italy was not a unified nation. It was a fractured landscape of republics, principalities, rival families, mercenary armies, shifting alliances, and sudden betrayal. Florence, Venice, Milan, Rome, and Naples competed through diplomacy, money, marriage, espionage, and war. In such an environment, political survival depended not only on what a ruler wanted, but on how much others could discover about those desires. A leader who revealed his fear invited pressure. A diplomat who revealed eagerness weakened his bargaining position. A prince who displayed uncontrolled anger warned his enemies exactly where to provoke him. Machiavelli's political observations emerged from this atmosphere of masks and calculated appearances. He understood that public behavior was rarely a transparent expression of private truth. It was often a strategic instrument. Those who survived court politics learned to separate what they felt from what they displayed. They became difficult to read. Consider Cesare Borgia, one of the figures Machiavelli observed closely. Borgia's rise was violent, ambitious, and ultimately unstable, but his political methods revealed a cold understanding of perception. He could appear generous when generosity served him, severe when fear was useful, patient when delay created advantage, and decisive when hesitation would expose weakness. The point was not consistency of personality. The point was consistency of purpose. His outward behavior changed according to the demands of the moment. Those around him could not safely assume that yesterday's friendliness guaranteed tomorrow's mercy. This unpredictability created psychological pressure. People became cautious because they could not easily determine what he intended. But there is an important distinction. Strategic unreadability is not the same as random behavior. A person who behaves chaotically is not powerful. Chaos makes others cautious, but it also makes trust impossible. The strategist is not erratic. Their principles may be stable, but their emotional reactions are not available for public control. They do not allow every irritation to become visible. They do not reveal every suspicion the moment it appears. They do not announce every plan while it is still vulnerable. They understand that information has value, and emotion is information. Modern psychology confirms how much we reveal without word. Before a person answers a difficult question, their face may tighten for a fraction of a second. Their breathing may change. Their shoulders may rise. Their feet may turn toward an exit. Their eyes may briefly look away from the person they fear disappointing. None of these signals automatically proves deception or weakness. Body language is contextual, and no single gesture contains a perfect truth, but patterns speak. A negotiator may notice that you lean forward whenever price is mentioned.